So this is, we have these two classes this week. Did you have a good time bowling? Anybody went bowling last night? Clark, you didn't go bowling? Oh, you missed out. Anybody went bowling? Oh, just TSIs went bowling. You were all what? Studying Weber, right? Sorry, Elizabeth? What do you say? Somebody said something? No? Really? They're not prepared to admit it. They're not prepared to admit they go bowling or they go drinking. Right, Neil, right. Yes, we should hang you up here. Humiliate you once more. It already happened. Okay. You should ask him what happened. Yes. Okay, right. Very good. So, Weber today. Yes, Weber. Right. Any questions? Any questions here? Any questions before I begin? Okay, this Protestant spirit of capitalism, as I was saying last time, the most widely read piece of sociology, this definitive piece of sociology. It is a classic. You've read it before, probably in Social 1. Oh, I'm going to trip over that, but that doesn't matter. Okay. Look, we're only reading a tiny morsel of Max Weber, unfortunately, but we're reading it carefully and thoroughly, and I'm going to, it's difficult for me to convey the enormous breadth, depth of Weber's writings, but anyway, I think you'll get a sense of it when we talk about more broadly about religion today. So what I'm going to do today is try and get halfway through the Protestant ethic and the spirit of capitalism, and to get to the rationalization of religion. And so next time what we will do, if we don't get there today, is to really figure out the difference between, on the one hand, Catholicism, and on the other hand, Protestantism, and within Protestantism between Luther and Calvin. These are crucial developments in what Weber calls the rationalization of religion. And there must be some Protestants amongst us and some Catholics, yeah? I hope so. Right, Jane? Yes, where do you put yourself? Yes, probably some sort of Protestantism, no? Yes, well, we'll see whether you fit with Luther or with Calvin or with neither. Anyway, so, alright, very good. Alright, so that's what we will do next time, and then we'll talk about the relationship between the Protestant ethic and the spirit of capitalism. Calvinism and the economics. A very interesting analysis Weber has of the relationship between Calvinism and economic conduct, and then the relationship between Protestant ethic and spirit of capitalism, and then we'll talk about the origins and reproduction of capitalism. And then we'll be done, and you'll be able to take a few days off to read the essay on bureaucracy. Right, Kristen, right? Okay, very good. All right, we mustn't waste any time. Summary. I really have to get through this today. Summary. Any questions before I begin? Going. Gone. All right. Well, as I said, the introduction to this book was put there by a man named Talcott Parsons, to whom I have referred before, and he basically put what Weber thought his work was all about just before he died in 1920. And so that's what this author's introduction is about. It's an overview of his work on economics and religion. And it starts out with that wonderful paragraph that we read out in chorus fashion last time. Yes, there you are, Andy and Sasha. Yes. We won't ask you to do it again. But the point of that opening chapter is to say there's something peculiar to Western culture, what he's going to call rationalism, something peculiar to it, and it has this peculiarity, has universal value. That is, it is a reference point for the entire world, and it has also universal significance in that this Western rationalism is having consequences for everybody on the face of this earth. And of course we are the inheritors of that Western rationalism, the sort of capitalism that we are swimming around in now, which is very different to the capitalism Weber is talking about. But anyway, this Western rationalism has universal value and universal significance. So what is this rationalism? Well, it's something that invades all spheres of life, and he's reluctant to actually define it. But he talks about the way science, politics, law, art, music, architecture, education, all of these spheres of activity are subject to increasing coherence, internal coherence, and they are subject, in many cases, to a form of rationalism that involves developing the most efficient way to do things. It is something that we see is peculiar, Weber says, to the West. And it is above all expressed in MWBRC, which was, Sienna?
Bureaucratic rational capitalism.
Only one mistake. That's not bad out of 5. Very good. Bourgeois. You could have said bureaucratic. No, but actually it is not. It's not. It is important that it be bourgeois rather than bureaucratic. We'll see bureaucratic capitalism probably is something different. It's bourgeois rational capitalism. Talks about that on page 17. So what is this modern Western bourgeois rational capitalism? Well, first Weber says, well, what is capitalism? Well, capitalism is the rational pursuit of profit. So that is the first and most simple definition of capitalism, the rational pursuit of profit. The rational pursuit of profit. That is, the pursuit of profit through figuring out how to maximize revenue and minimize cost. Maximize revenue and minimize cost. It involves calculation above all else. It involves calculation and bookkeeping and involves money economy above all, because money becomes a vehicle through which we measure the revenues and the costs. So capitalism is the rational pursuit of profit. And there have been many types of capitalism in history before this modern Western bourgeois rational capitalism. And he talks about merchant capitalism. Now merchant capitalism is a capitalism we discussed last time in which one gets profit by selling at a higher price than one buys. There are lots of merchants around here. Yes. So we have speculators who try and sell their shares at a higher price than they bought them and create havoc in the stock market. Merchants, speculators, capitalists, adventurers, booty capitalists, pirates. Yes. These are all the different types of capitalism Weber refers to, but he is ultimately interested in modern Western bourgeois rational capitalism. And what distinguishes that from the previous forms of capitalism? Do you know? Rosa?
Is it the science behind capitalism?
Yes, part of it is the science, but the science is applied to what?
To making profit?
Yes, and how?
By multiplying our
What is peculiar to this modern Western rational bourgeois capitalism? Yeah, it does involve the application of science, but yes, Matthew.
Money comes and rather
Marianne.
You talked in section about how modern rational capitalism has three facets.
Ooh.
And it was a rational industrial organization of free labor, action business from home, and rational government through bookkeeping.
Wow, I wonder who that was. Oh, well, yes. Have you got a page number?
I don't know.
21 to 22. Very good on the front row. Very good. 21. Yes. Right, underline this in blue. Okay, Monica, you got a blue blouse, so underline this in blue. Page 21, the new paragraph. No, the second new paragraph. Where Weber says, what does he say, Neil?
But in modern times?
Yep. Loud, so Sienna can hear you.
But in modern times, the Occident has developed, in addition to this, a very different form of capitalism which has appeared nowhere else. Rational capitalistic organization of formerly free labor.
The rationally capitalist organization of formerly free labor. What is he talking about? The rational capitalist organization of formerly free labor. What is he talking about? Simeon, what is he talking about? Did we waste our time last semester?
It's not based on slavery or feudalism or any of this sort of thing.
It's not based on... what is formerly free labor?
Labor that has an ability to seek different employers, I guess.
Yeah.
Bound to a particular owner.
Jessica, you hand up? Oh, you were you? Couldn't mean exactly the same thing.
labor?
Slaves? Absolutely not. Formerly free labor. Slaves are not formally free. What does formally free mean? It means that you are formally free to sell your labor power to whom? Some capitalist. But you have to sell yourself to some capitalist, right? Formally free. That's almost like Marx. Not truly free, formally free. As Simeon was saying, that formally free represents the idea that you come with your labor power and you sell it to some capitalist. You've got to sell it to some capitalist, otherwise you do not survive. Formally free. Not truly free, but formally free. You are, you might say, enslaved to the capitalist class, but it's not slavery. It is modern Western bourgeois rational capitalism, which is the capitalism who talked about? Marx. Matthew.
So when Weber says formally free, could it also be interpreted in the context of indentured laborers becoming free but being forced to stay at plantations, for instance? Like Chinese coolie labor?
It could be, but we are trying to find what the core definition is here. Formally free, that is your individuals sell their labor power, their capacity to work on a market. That is the core definition here. Formally free is just precisely what Marx and Engels were talking about when they talked about capitalism. So this is the crucial thing, because when you're in merchant capitalism, booty capitalism, pirate capitalism, there is not, the selling of labor power is not of the essence. It is selling things at a higher price. You steal something from somebody and then you sell it to somebody else. That's what pirates do. That's what colonialism was about. Right, Mike? Primitive accumulation. It's his favorite topic. Yes, but this is formally free labor. Yes. Okay, very good. Right, very good, Marianne. Very good, very good. So yes, rational capitalists, let's put them up on the board. What did you say?
One is the rational industrial organization of free labor.
Formally free labor. So it's the rational capitalistic organization of formally free labor. Yep. Separation of business from home. And bookkeeping. Yes, very good, very good, very good. What do all these have in common? The possibility of what? Calculation. Bookkeeping is not other than calculation. So advances in the mode of calculating costs and revenues. That's what bookkeeping was about. But what's the significance of separation of business from home? If you are there, what's the significance of separating business from home? Well, the significance is if you separate business from home, you can then focus on exactly what the costs of production are. You can, in a sense, insulate, isolate, and focus on exactly what the costs of production are. So that is necessary. So it's no good so this rational, modern Western bourgeois rational capitalism is one that is really focused just on the productive activity, the production of surplus, based on what? Formally free labor. Formally free labor, the sale of labor power. The sale of labor power. This is indeed what he says on page 21, 22 is what Marianne was referring to. The bottom of page 21, he says, the new paragraph at the bottom, he says, rational industrial organization attuned to a regular market and neither to political nor irrationally speculative opportunities for profit. And that's what the Bush administration was about. And irrational, speculative opportunities for profit. It's not, however, the only peculiarity of Western capitalism. The modern rational organization of the capitalist enterprise would not have been possible without two other important factors in its development. The separation of business from the household, which completely dominates modern economic life, and closely connected with rational bookkeeping. A spatial separation of places of work from those of residence exists elsewhere, as in the Oriental Bazaar. But what is peculiar here, as most importantly, is this idea of the rational organization of formally free labor. Why is this so important for labor? I know, Jessica, you've been trying to say something for the last 5 minutes.
So free labor, the free is referring to the freedom of proletariat to choose who their masters or employers going to be, not like slaves are free to their owners and the labor is free to them, right?
Right. Formally free labor is the idea that laborers have the possibility of choosing their employers, just as, of course, employers have the possibility of firing workers. That is very different from feudalism and slavery. We went through that last semester. Yes, Lauren.
So is it, because I'm still kind of confused, it's like freedom of choice, really?
Yes, formally free. They're in principle free to choose their employer. They can move around, but in practice they have to choose some employer. So they're not really free because they have to choose some employer. They have to be exploited by some employer.
Because like free labor, I don't know, to me, or like formally free labor, it's like, if you're putting it on the market, it's like it's not free. They have to pay you for it.
Formally free. Oh yeah, well, yes. There are many meanings of the word free. Formally free. This is not to do with payment at all. This is freedom. Am I free or am I not free? Does it cost you anything to employ me as a teacher? But am I free, to wander around up and down here? This is my freedom. This is a different... I'm sorry. Yes, Kristen, can you help me?
This would be helpful, but it's the illusion of free choice. It's like McDonaldization. If you go in, you can get, a hamburger with cheese or pickles or whatever, but you still got to get a hamburger as the idea.
Very good. Yes, you still got to get a hamburger. You can have all sorts of different types of hamburger, so you've got formally free choice, but basically you come out with a hamburger, and they all actually, as you know, are just the same. Thank you, yes. But it's not to do with price. It's to do with this freedom, if you will, freedom of choice. But it's not to do with the price, formally free. And I'm sorry, Jessica, I understand why you said slavery. This is not to do with the price of labor. This is to do with the freedom of labor. Okay, Sam?
Okay.
Oh, yeah. See, that was a formally free response. Now, I want a truly free response. Which word? What's your problem?
It's fine, I like it.
Oh, yes, now it's truly free response. Yes, right. Good, all right, but the question is for Weber.